Hi everyone, it's Elle from everydayelle.com, and today I'm just going to show you a couple pens that I have on hand here. First of all, when you're starting out, you're going to want to use something like this, which is a Tombow Fudenosuke, I think that's how you say it, and it's a hard tip pen. So they also come in soft tip pens and hard tip pens. So the hard tip pen just tends to make a better line, so a better thin and line for you. And you can go back and like touch up your lines pretty easily. But it's just easier to control than some of the bigger pens. This is the soft tip, so I'll just put, this is really bad writing. You don't usually want to write like that. I should actually point this way. So with this pen, this is the soft tip, and I'm running out of ink on this one, but it just gives a little bit of a thicker, the tip is more flexible and is harder to control than the hard tip. So you might want to just stick with the hard tip pen. This paper that I'm using is called Canson marker paper. They also have Rhodia dot pads that are really good to use with any kind of a brush pen. So I'm just showing you a couple of the ones that I have here. This is an art line. I don't really care for these, but some people really like them. So you just have to press on them. They're just a little bit harder, like the thin lines are a little harder to make with these. But they do have lots of colors. See, I didn't really make that very well, but. And then another thinner tipped pen, or a small pen, is called the PenTell Touch. And they have various colors in these. You can even buy these at Target now. And they're, the only thing I don't really like about them is they don't dry very fast. So if you're gonna do like a quote or something with them, you might want to just do one at a time. So you know, do one line at a time, because you might end up like putting your hand in it and then smearing it, because it does take a little bit of time to dry. But those are cool. I like the way they look for bigger projects that require a small pen. If you don't want to use black, like the Fudenosuke, I would go with PenTell Touch pens. And they have, so all of these are brush, they all have brush tips. I don't know if you can see that, but they all have brush tips. And so, you know, you should be able to press on them fairly hard and you get a thicker line. So make sure you're getting the brush tip ones, not the ones that are for everyday use. So some people also like to use just brushes, and the one I don't have a watercolor, I don't have watercolor paper right now, but this is just a number 1, or you can get a number 0 Winsor Newton Cotman brush, and that's pretty good for making small watercolor wording. Of course, we have the Tombow dual brush pens. Yeah, I'm not perfect. But anyway, that's kind of how those ones work. I always like to draw my words and then go back over them and try to fix them a little bit, because I'm not always perfect at that yet. These pens, and I don't know if this one might be worn out, but this is the Artist Loft, and they're similar to the dual brush pens. Sometimes I like to use these more than the Tombows, but just depends what you're looking for. Like this one has got a shredded tip. You can see all the little inconsistencies. This one looks way better. So this one. So a note about using these kinds of pens. this pen was used on paper that is not meant to be used on. It was used on rougher paper, and so that's why I'm getting this really ugly looking shredded look on here. I don't like that at all. So if you want to keep your pens really nice, you need to be sure to use it on smooth paper like the Rhodia dot pad, yeah, that's what they're called, Rhodia dot pad, or the Canson marker paper pad. Some smooth paper, don't use them on watercolor paper like I probably did. So, and this is just another Tombow. So you get this kind of really cool, I don't know if you can even see that. You get just this really cool kind of gradient look to it. I also have these pens, and I don't think they're made by Stater or whatever that company's called, but they're metallic brush pens. I don't really like them because the tips are so flimsy, but if you want to do like, if you wanted to do some maybe some highlights, I don't know if this is going to even show up on here because it's black, but you could probably do it. Yeah, it doesn't really like to show up on like this. It kind of does. It's hard to see in the video, I'm sure. Here's some. So you could add, you know, a little bit of detail work to it. But if you use this on black paper, it looks kind of cool too. But it's got a really flimsy tip. I don't like them. But I do use them sometimes for detail work. But they just don't make good. They don't look good with the writing. The tips are way too flimsy for me. They also have a white one that you can use on black, which is cool if you want to just add some details in white on the black matte paper. This is called a blender brush, and I'm seeing if I have some colors here that I could do this with. So let's say you wanted to make, let's just do, this is a really light color, so I don't even know if you'll see this, but so this is the letter E, if you can see that at all. And if I wanted to add a darker color to the E, I could maybe take my purple and just add it to the tip like this, and just add a little bit of purple into my letter, and it will look like I blended it. So sometimes people also just put the color here, and then they take the blending brush and they blend it like on the paper, but this paper isn't really good for that. It kind of clumps a little bit when I do that, so I don't really like that, but it's an option if you like that kind of thing. So, and this is a new one that I got, and I can't remember who makes it, but it's a brush pen, and it looks like this. They sell them on Amazon, I think. I'll have to find the name of it. But it's just another brush pen. Let's see. Yep, that looks kind of crappy, but it's not, again, it's got, the tip is not as nice as like the Tombows, but it's good for, you know, detailing stuff. So and my paper is also not angled the way I want it to be angled for this video, because I have to kind of move it around so you can see it in the video. But these are monoline pens, and this one's kind of a thicker monoline pen, but they're good. Like if you want to add some shadows or something, this is too thick, but you can add some shadows using the monoline pen or a gray pen. Gray pens actually sometimes look nicer, but something like that. whatever. So this is a thicker one, but if you get a thinner one, it looks even better. So I don't even know if you guys are seeing this on the video, but. So those are just some pens. When starting out, I highly recommend you just get this pen. It's a Fude no Suke hard tip, and it'll work great for just learning how to create your strokes. When you create your strokes, you know, you're gonna do strokes like this, or I'm trying to think of some of the other ones. Like this. You can tell I kind of messed that up. So sometimes you want to be able to angle your paper and stuff, but you know, you're just going to be working on different strokes, and this will give you a good, I didn't make that one very well, but it will give you a good line, thin line and thick line. So that's all I have for today.